Today we're going to talk about flower pressing. I have 3 pretty little flowers on the page already. I'm putting it on white paper for ease of vision. When we're done, we'll put it into a book. What I've done with the forsythia over here is I've actually pinched the back of it so that it will lay flatter on the page and press easier for me. You don't have to do that, but realize that when you don't, you are left with the stem, which has a thickness to it. So that's why I usually do get rid of them. If you notice, some of the leaves are curling, or the petals are curling more than others. The fresher the flower is, and also just go out and check the individual flowers. Get ones that are flatter. They'll work better when you're pressing them. Okay, and for little hands that might find it difficult to be too fussy, is what I'll actually do is sometimes when I have a plant that's not laying nicely or flower, I will use a toothpick to straighten it out. But if you're trying to, and then push it with my thumb, if you're finding that to be too fussy or you have little hands you're working with, just lay anything down and press it, and it's going to be very pretty. Such as something like this is easier to handle for first time pressing. There's also what did I have? I had a pretty white flower. Okay, and I also have leaves now that we want to add to the mix because they look very pretty, and a necessary part of a picture of flowers. Go out into the yard and find nice leaves. Some serrated edges, some long. Oh, here again, if you want to not be so fussy, just push the whole flower and leaves together. Here's another type of leaf that's very pretty. There's some edging to it. You might want to press open the leaves a little. You might want to pry a couple off so that they lay flat. Just experiment and see what works for you. I tend to, again, put it face down. I think it'll lay flatter when we put it into the book. I came across this. Now this will be too clumped up, so what I'll probably do here is pinch off some of the excess. So I'm left with a pretty array, and then I have some others over here to play with. I also got some onion grass outside. I think that can look very pretty in a display. I made sure that the tip of the grass is nice. A lot of times they get kind of burned looking and don't look good in the finished product. And what else? Oh, and I got some, who knows what this is? Dandelion. They have a great leaf, don't they? Interesting. So place that down also, and try to get it as flat and as straight as you can within your abilities. Okay, now here's another. I think this might be my mom's starting already. So I took a leaf from there. Okay, so I'm trying to make room for everything so that nothing overlaps. All right, so when we're done with laying everything, I put it into my book. You can do it directly into a book instead of this page, but I'm doing it this way so that you could see the outline of the flowers easier. So I'm just slipping it in now, and now what we do is we put it in a nice solid book that you've decided you don't need to keep for reading, and I cover it over slowly and carefully. The more careful you always want to be with flowers, the flatter you have to get them to lay. But sometimes the process is fun. You don't have to be so fussy. So I've folded it over. How you've found my secret stash of leaves, and I have some sticking out because I didn't plan it well. You should not have that. Everything should be contained within the pages. So now I've put it in a heavy book. What I will often do is take this heavy book and put it under something that's also heavy that I'll lay on top of it. If you can't come up with something like that, maybe you could squeeze it into between 2 books on a bookcase so that it will also be squeezed. The tighter this is laying, the better they'll press. Okay, Another thing to keep in mind is that when you select flowers, I would suggest that denser flowers such as this. This is from our Pachysandra. It's probably going to look pretty cool, but it's much thicker. The whole piece is much thicker than those, so I would do a different page for thicker items. Here's another idea if you want to be a little simpler in what you're doing. If you have little hands you're working with, do something like this. Press and just press as it is, and it'll be very pretty and colorful. And of course, always have leaves. I would have a variety of leaves because you'll find that they'll look nice in the design that we're going to do on down the line. Okay? Hope that was fun, and go out and look around. There's lots of little pretty flowers in your yard that you can find and along your walk. Of course, be careful of if you're walking and pick them. You have to consider whether animals might have been there. So dogs walking sort of thing. So that's up to you. Okay? Have a good day. Thank you.